Imagine turning on your recorder in an empty room, and when you play it back, you hear a whisper that isn't yours. Some call it a trick of the mind, others call it proof of the afterlife. Tonight, we're diving into the top 5 creepiest EVP recordings ever captured. Make sure to listen carefully, because sometimes the scariest part is what you hear when nobody else does. And if you catch something I don't mention, drop a timestamp in the comments below. I'll be checking them. 5. The Get Out recording. Our list begins with one of the most classic EVPs ever recorded, simply known as Get Out. In the late 1970s, a small paranormal research team investigated a reportedly haunted home in Pennsylvania. Residents complained of footsteps, cold spots, and the feeling of being watched. But nothing compared to what was captured on tape. The team left an audio recorder running overnight in the basement. When they played it back the next morning, a chilling guttural whisper was crystal clear, saying only 2 words, "Get out." What makes this one so terrifying isn't just the phrase, it's the tone. Aggressive, commanding, like whatever was down there didn't just want to be heard, it wanted to warn them. To this day, many paranormal groups play this EVP during training to show how distinct and threatening an entity's voice can sound. Skeptics argue it could have been a prank or distorted background noise. But believers? They say no living person could have produced that sound. So here's the question for you. Was this the spirit of a former resident, desperate to protect their space? Or something much darker, forcing humans away from its domain? Four, the Stanley Hotel. Whisper. Number 4 takes us to one of America's most famous haunted locations, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. Yes, the same hotel that inspired Stephen King's The Shining. Paranormal investigators have spent countless nights in this place, but one recording stands out. During a 2006 overnight session, an investigator asked the standard question, "Is anyone here with us?" For a few seconds, nothing. Then, faintly, a child's voice whispered, "We are here." Think about that. Not "I am here." Not one ghost, but we. Multiple voices, a group. Experts who analyzed the audio found no traces of tampering, no overlapping frequencies that would indicate radio interference. And those who were present that night swear no children were anywhere near the property. The recording spread quickly online, with thousands debating, was it the spirits of the Stanleys' past guests? Or simply our brains interpreting random static as words, a phenomenon called auditory pareidolia. But here's where it gets creepier. Later that same evening, guests reported hearing children laughing in the hallways, even though no kids were checked into the hotel. Coincidence? You decide. 3. The Screaming Tunnel. Our third EVP comes from Canada's infamous Screaming Tunnel in Niagara Falls. Local legend says a young girl once died there in a fire, and to this day, her screams echo through the passage at night. In 1996, 2 investigators recorded what they thought was just wind and dripping water. But when they slowed down the audio, a blood-curdling scream emerged. It wasn't faint, it wasn't distorted. It was a human scream, loud, desperate, and full of pain. Some say it's the trapped spirit of the girl reliving her final moments. Others say it's just the acoustics of the tunnel twisting sounds into something horrifying. But here's the kicker. The scream only appeared on playback. Nobody present heard it in real time. Imagine standing in silence, only to play the tape back and realize something had been screaming right next to you. Tourists still visit the tunnel today, daring each other to light a match at midnight, because legend says if you do, the girl's spirit will blow it out. Whether or not that's true, the EVP recording remains one of the clearest and most disturbingest examples ever caught. 2. The Graveyard Choir. Number 2 isn't just one voice, it's an entire chorus. In 2012, a team in Europe left high-sensitivity audio equipment inside an abandoned cemetery. What they captured wasn't whispers or single words, but what sounded like a group of voices chanting. Some describe it as a hymn, others hear it as a distorted, almost demonic chant. The recording lasts nearly 30 seconds, far longer than most EVPS researchers tried to explain it. Maybe it was sound bleeding in from a nearby church or interference from a radio frequency. But the nearest church was miles away, and no radio station matched the sounds. Even creepier, when the team went back the next night, they heard faint humming with their own ears, not loud enough to record, but undeniable. Like a presence had been waiting for them. If EVPS are the voices of the dead, then this one suggests something even darker, that spirits can gather and communicate together. One, the help me plea. Our number 1 EVP is as heartbreaking as it is terrifying, known simply as help me. In 2003, a paranormal researcher was investigating a small abandoned hospital. During the session, he asked if anyone wanted to speak. For several minutes, only static. Then, a soft but urgent voice came through. Help me. It wasn't angry. It wasn't threatening. It was desperate. Experts who studied the recording noted the emotional weight behind the voice. Unlike most EVPs, which are short and robotic, this one carried a tone, almost human-like. Skeptics, of course, argue it could have been a stray radio signal or even staged. But believers say it's one of the strongest proofs of spirits reaching out, not to scare us, but to ask for something we can't give. And maybe that's the scariest part of all, that some souls are still trapped, still begging for help, long after death. So, what do you think? Were these voices real evidence of the afterlife, or just tricks of sound and imagination? Personally, I think whether you're a believer or a skeptic, one fact remains. These recordings spark something primal in us. The idea that death might not be the end. If you heard something I didn't point out, leave a timestamp in the comments. And if you're brave enough, let me know. Which EVP shook you the most? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the unexplained. And remember, the next time you're alone and you hear a faint whisper, maybe, just maybe, someone's trying to talk to you.